So you said the word referral, and listen, let me be clear here. I'm not hating the word referral. I've been in the industry a long time. I get it. What I want to stress here, and something that we've talked about throughout, is that the words matter, number one, and two, there's a big difference between referrals and introductions. Now listen, let me ask any of you this, and just you can raise your hand, nod your heads, whatever. I don't care. So your longest tenured clients, the people that love you the most, that's just the most valuable relationships, is there any way to go to those people and ask for a referral without it sounding like a favor that you're asking for? I mean, really, what do you say there? Yeah, listen, we really appreciate the relationship we've had all these years. Thank you for your trust and confidence in us. And we're so happy that you're a part of our process. And hey, listen, by the way, do you know anybody just like you that could take advantage of our services? And I'm not being, we get paid three ways. And forgive me, I'm not disrespectful at all. I understand the industry. And referrals are, well, they're the lifeblood of many advisors we work with, but not really. Introductions. There's just a dramatic difference. Introductions positioned as a service that you provide to your best clients. And listen, so that's a key word in and of itself, positioning. We're not pitching the idea of referrals. We position introductions as a service that we offer to our best clients. Everything we do, we position as a service to our best clients. This is just the latest in that. So, and here's the thing about referrals. People refer when they don't care about the outcome, correct? This has happened to all of us. Hey, I've got my friend, I gave her your card and I told her you're awesome, you're a great advisor, I had a great meeting, I really appreciate the work that we've done together, and she's gonna call you. I told her she has to call you and you're gonna hear from her. And you don't. Months go by. And listen, it's not that your client has the best of intentions. They are pleased with the work. There were a couple things there. So there's no dog in the hunt. They're not being validated by this. They don't care about the outcome. And there may be an opportunity gap here where your client doesn't really know how to introduce you. So we'll get there. Here's the other thing I want to stress about introductions, and think about the two different words. And all of you have a personal story around introductions. Find it and share it. Here's mine. My wife is a respiratory therapist. She's been a respiratory therapist for years and years and years. She does amazing work. I don't ever get to go down to the hospital. I don't meet the doctors. I don't go anywhere around there. I just don't do that. But for one night a year, it's the Christmas party, yeah. So the Marriott ballroom, you've all been to these types of things. It's a big setup and it's kind of cool and it's a blast and dinner and the whole thing. And I've done that a few times with my wife. And guess what my wife doesn't do? She doesn't point over to the other side of the ballroom and say, hey, sweetie, I want to refer you over, go over there. Dr. Brown's over there somewhere. Go introduce yourself to him and tell him I sent you. Of course not. She takes me by the hand and walks me over to the other side of the room. We find Dr. Brown and she says, what? Dr. Brown, I would like very much to introduce you to my husband, Steve. Now listen, that seems simple, but it's foundational. She's involved in the process there. There's a whole different outcome. There's a whole different significance to it. So referrals, no, we're not pitching for a favor. We're positioning the idea of introductions as a service we provide. Now, listen, you remember the brand library and all the pieces and how we work around brand and process. So this is a key thing in introductions. And we're going to get to this in a minute. How do your clients introduce you? Do they know how and why to introduce you? So it starts with the brand library, and this is a review. We're not going to go through all this again, but remember the introduction kit. And there it is, the brand and process imprinting and the idea of professional contrast. And you all remember this, the cascading pieces, and there's imagery, your process, formula name, your logo, all of that. And you remember we can set up the kit a number of different ways if we need to, if we have extra teammates or different locations, and that's the first piece. From there, we went to the first appointment brochure. And remember, we talked about not just for prospects, but indeed reframing best clients. So the first reframing appointment, that's the what we call it, the shoot your trailer. And again, clarifying a message, creating professional contrast, among other things. On the inside, you'll remember the 7 pillars on the left-hand side, the Venn diagram on the right-hand side, and a consistent communication of the brand. We went from there then to what I think is maybe the most important piece in the brand library. And I don't think that we really touched on this. And here it is. And it is a piece about the sounding board process. Now, there are a couple of things I want to share here. Number one is we're serious about the words matter. So we're not accelerating referrals, we're accelerating introductions. And if you notice right on the piece, it says, as a part of our process and a service to our best clients, these are the things that we just talked about. And so that all of that verbiage matters. And here's what we know. Number one, and this isn't guesswork anymore. These results come from advisors just like you. This enables you to position introductions as a service because we're going to validate the verbiage. It's going to be consistent and congruent. It will communicate your process, the introduction process. And we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I can line up advisors for you to talk to, that it increases the success of that introduction process. Now, what's interesting is it is the simplest. I've said all along, none of what we do is rocket science. In fact, it's just the opposite. It's fundamental, simple, foundational human communication, isn't it? So here's the thing. This verbiage is, everything comes from an interaction either with a client or with an advisor. And we're proud of that because this is where we learn the most. So this came from one of our very best advisor clients back in the day in Kansas City, who we worked with, who we had done brand and design and process work for, and the whole brand library. It was very well received. And I had an opportunity to sit in a meeting that he was having with one of his best clients. And they were introducing the whole idea of the process and the brand and how to talk about us. And this particular client loved it. She was really enamored with the whole thing. And she said, I want to know how to send people over to you. That was the word she used. She didn't say refer. She didn't say introduce. She said, I want to send people to you. How do I do that? And so this particular advisor kind of went through the steps, and it was fairly simple, but I watched this client write it down on the back of a business card. And right then I went to my design team and said, this is crazy. This is one of the most powerful things in the Pareto process and all of our collaboration work we've done with Pareto, and we need to make this client facing. Well, there's the verbiage. Up in the top paragraph, there are people in your life that are important to you. Know that they're important to us. Write that down. Write it down right now. This is what you must say to your clients. If they are important to you, they're important to us. 5 simple steps. Number 1, share our process. Let them know that you're going to share contact information with us for the purposes of what? Not a referral, an introduction. Contact us to share relevant. Let us know what's important. What are the details that we need to know? Number 3, we're going to reach out on your behalf. We'll send them our introduction kit that does what? It talks about our brand and our process. It's simple. It's filled with professional contrast. It looks, it sounds, it feels different. And then we'll follow up and schedule the sounding board meeting. Now, before we finish up, this is what I want to remind you of. One of the final real clinching things is if we're truly doing this as a service to our best clients, you can finish that conversation by saying, look, if people in your life, if the people that are important to you, just understand they're important to us. And we're happy to sit down and share our process with them. We know that you're looking forward to your financial future with great anticipation because of our process. We're proud of that. We're glad that that's fulfilling for you. But we know from clients that many have friends and family members that are a little apprehensive about their future. So as a service to you, our best clients, we're happy to sit down with them and share our process. Now, one thing before I let you go. Not only does your friend or family member not have to become a client to receive that service, they cannot become a client in that first meeting. That's not the purpose of the meeting. The purpose is a service to you. We want to share our process and give them a positive feel for the future. Listen, here's the human nature component of this, folks, is that if I felt good about something, my relationship with my financial advisor, just one. Think of a million things you could feel good about. Wouldn't you want to share that good feeling with people that are important to you? And try to get them connected to that good feeling if you could? Yeah. So you can see how the dots start to connect here. And here's what I'll leave you with. 3 key thoughts as we finish up the idea of sounding board and introductions. Listen, it's validation. People refer when they don't have a dog in the hunt. They don't care about the outcome. People who introduce want to be validated. I have a secret. I want to share a good bottle of wine. I want you to tell me what you thought of that. I did it because I care about you as a friend. My advisor is just like a good bottle of wine. I'm going to be validated by making that introduction. The reason I'm going to be validated is the professional contrast is evident, not only in the brand and the process and the pieces, but indeed in the conversation, the words that you use. Those people who've been introduced then come to their own conclusions about needing to affiliate with you, and the introduction process starts to reproduce itself. So number one, it's really why, who, how is the final here. Why do you do it? What is it about your introduction process that's so important? Well, I'm doing something good in the world. I want to help people feel better about their financial futures. People are always feeling like there are things out of their control. So I have a purpose for that. Who do I do it for? Well, I don't do it for everyone. I can't do it for everyone. We do this as a service to our very best clients. And then finally, number 3, our very best clients know how to make an introduction. And it's through our process. Listen, final thought. We have advisors that actually tell us we're not taking on new relationships anymore. We're not. The only way that we come by new relationships, new clients, is introductions from our very best clients who know why we do it. They know whom to introduce to us, people just like them, ideal clients, and they know how to make the introduction, talking about our process. It's different, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So, no favors. Position everything as a service. The sounding board process, the introduction process is just the latest in those steps.